The other big criticism when we started off on this mission was that, look, smart city is a very area-based development, right? And how do you just see development in one area? How do you actually replicate it to benefit the entire city? Niti Aayog recently has come out with a report to say, how do you scale this ABD model to the rest of the city? Any thoughts on that front?
Yeah, so cities are now actually starting to evolve different kinds of frameworks. So, for example, if you see the entire mission, as I said, it's close to 2,05,000 crores. Almost 20% of that is getting financed through what we call the public-private partnerships. And that's an interesting model. If you see some of the cities, in fact, Bhopal or maybe the cities who have actually done really well, they are coming out with replicable PPP frameworks of how to do developments in one city and carry it to the other city. Then, of course, a lot of policy. For example, how do you deal with land? How can you maximize the value you can get of land to finance projects? Value capture finance in itself. Transport-oriented development. This is another area where cities are
Has TOD and VCF taken off? I mean, yes. Both transport-oriented development and value capture financing. These are sitting ducks when it comes to earning revenues and making cities self-sustainable. But are we not slow on that front, or?
No, exactly. Depends on how you look at it. Transport-oriented development, in fact, transit-oriented development is actually something which is picked up tremendously. All the cities which have got metro projects or are doing BRT projects or are doing public transport projects are actually looking at dual benefits. One, transit-oriented benefits for the citizens because they come close to the transit corridors. And second, because it also increases ridership, it kind of makes these public transport systems more feasible. Then, of course, transit-oriented development gives you actually the money to finance such important capital-intensive.
You can charge more for FSI.
Public transport systems. And on the VCF, yes, there are few examples. And I think that's one area of work which we need to expand on. Though the center did proactively work its own VCF
with
framework.
A very good framework.
Very good framework. And the states, every state has been shared with that framework and the states are working on it. Some cities have started to show some benefits, but yes, VCF will need a lot of more work. Municipal bonds, for example. When I was a commissioner in Pune, we raised 200 crores. This was June 2017. And from then on till now, 3,200 crores roughly have been 3,190.
2,000 crore is Amravati.
Yes, but
I would think that as the director of the mission, this must be an area of disappointment, isn't it? Because, I mean, SPVs are going to run out of the money which centers and states have given them, and they need to move on this much faster. Markets are not looking that glamorous anymore in the sense that, there has to be an appetite for these municipal bonds, and that will only happen if their own books are robust, strong and clean.
Yeah, I should mention to you that 35 cities are A- and above today. Never before had all cities gone for credit ratings. More than 450 cities have done credit ratings. We from the ministry are supporting with a 2% subsidy. So if you get a rate of X, you get X minus 2 to pay because ultimately 2% comes from the ministry. So there's a lot of impetus being given to municipal bonds, the value capture finance, land monetization, tax increment financing. For example, for funding local area projects, tax increment financing also is being used by some cities. So I think, how you look at it again. Before June 2017, 11 years, nobody talked of municipal bonds. There was zero. Now from 200, we have reached to 3,200. More cities are going forward with it. By the way, we've been doing multiple rounds of discussions and we're going to come out with a discussion paper on how to push municipal bonds to the next level in the country because of the work that we have done under the mission that's informed that process. And of course, value capture finance and land monetization and transit-oriented development. I think all of this is starting to come together as a very important source of finance for our cities. And this is what is going to lead, the philosophy was, ABD actually makes you think in ways of innovation of finance, innovating on infrastructure, and that is coming together. 3.5 years is not a lot of time for this to happen, by the way, at the scale that we are doing. But we've reached tremendous, we've done tremendous progress on this. I am a skeptic myself. I don't, believe in applauding myself or my team or the work that's happening in the cities. But we are, doing this constructively. And I think all the cities are working extremely well, extremely passionately to see that they develop these models. And that's the success.
And you know, the ministry is maxed the art of pitching them one against the other. So you have a livability index challenge, now you have a data mining challenge.
By the way, the ease of living index version 2, we're just going to announce it in about a couple of weeks. So we are having our annual CEOs conference of smart cities on the 26th and 27th of February in Delhi. And we're also inviting the industry to participate, the cities to participate. That's the time when the cities will actually get the stage to showcase what they've done. We're looking forward to that.
All right. You've always said that time is short and expectations are really high. Believe me, they're very, very high. On the physical infrastructure, though, you said, look, these are two aspects of smart city. Are we facing a big battle because of just our cities being very populated and smart city mission per se being more a retrofitting process, right?
Yes.
Is that a very big challenge for you?
Well, population, I think, is an opportunity, not a challenge. Absolutely, the cities don't feel that population is a challenge. I think the more engaged citizens are and the more human capital you have, it's about how you actually channelize that power, that soft power that the cities have into economic growth for the cities. The cities are actually, working on so many dimensions. In fact, economic growth is one of the most important pillars of the smart cities mission. I think retrofitting itself is very important, because if you really want to, use this human capital to show the kind of or to deliver results for the city, to bring fruits for the city, you need to create cities of that kind. You need to provide good public transportation systems so that everyone can reach his or her workplace in time. You need to provide good quality water systems so that people don't have to spend on health rather than spend on anything else productive. So retrofitting is important. The challenge is, when you retrofit, number one, you have to work with multiple different agencies. Number two, you have to work between many programs. And then, of course, the challenge of land acquisition, because there's some people living there, the challenge of putting infrastructure in place because it's a live city. But we have to, understand this, that yes, green cities are important, greenfield development is important, but it's very important to retrofit our cities also, because people are actually living there. And there's so much of potential everyone has, there's so much of talent. When I used to work in Pune, I used to meet these youth in slums. I used to feel the next Apple or Google would actually come from the slums of Pune because of the smartness this youth had. The municipal corporations and the mission on the whole in the country has to make it possible for every individual to be able to realize that dream, or that to fully flower the potential that each of them have, and for that retrofitting is important. Yes, it is challenging.
It still takes so long though for any infrastructure to come up in a city. I mean, through technology, is there any way that we can shorten the time span of maybe making a flyover or just laying down a road? We've not been able to shorten any of that in any city.
No, it's happening. In fact, in housing projects especially, in projects which are now using technology in solid waste management and even water, the timelines have been shortened, because if you do a traditional leakage detection systems, it takes you sometimes months to actually detect things and repair water systems. But now with smart systems, it happens overnight. Those benefits will keep coming. But yes, when you put a capital intensive physical infrastructure in place, it does take the time it is bound to take.
Final question. What are the challenges that you face and you think cities have to be very aware of as they go forward? They're not going to run out of money, you believe, that they will get their financing right, and anything else?
So the first challenge, of course, is yes, they need to keep engaging with their citizens. It's not a one-way street where citizens gave you some feedback and then you started projects and it's all over with citizens. This continuous dialogue, and of course use of technology also to create connected communities. Then of course, how do you converge? How do you look at the world as a potential source of knowledge? How do you use the world to kind of use your data and get the best technologies? How do you engage with stakeholders both inside and outside the city is going to be tremendously useful, building partnerships. Then of course finance. And finance is something that we need to really push the pedal on. And some cities are showing the way, cities have started to evolve, but a lot of work needs to be done. Then of course the challenge is also in meeting the expectations, and we have to be very conscious of the fact that people will have expectations. But at the same time, if we really engage with them and keep talking to them about what's happening, what's the way forward, what is that is a priority for them today, I think the cities can really kind of meet those expectations. If not today, at least tell the citizens that this is what is happening and this is what is going to come.
If you can get the citizens engaged, I think the job is done. Look at how Indore, they feel so proud about being the cleanest city. Mysore feels so proud. And if anybody comes number 2, they get really upset about it. Why are we number 2 and not 1? Kunal Kumar, this is a wonderful initiative. I know it's a hard and long journey, but all the very best. And thank you so much for speaking with CNBC TV.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.